Okay, up to part 3. We've already done the Google, and I've got it in. One thing we're going to be looking at now is layering and some of the basic tools that are going to do a bit of the layout of the ovals and the parking lot and paths and things like that. So again, this is just laying it out. But the first thing I need to focus on is layers. It's one of the most important things that you'll find in an AutoCAD drawing is the use of layers. It allows you to have a lot of control over where things go, whether you're going to select them, whether you don't select them. There's a whole range of different things that you need to do. You'll notice that if I turn off layer 0, it will actually turn off some of this layer information here, but again, turn it back on, it will all come on. It also allows you to lock it or freeze the layer so that it can't be moved. Locking basically will lock it all, but freezing will just hold it for a time until you're ready to use it again. You notice all the different layers here. In a file like this there are a lot of layers, so my suggestion is when you start using layers is get used to using particular layers in a certain way. Now what I tend to do is name them, and for this exercise I'm just going to add a new layer here. New layer. I'm going to call it 1 because I want it to actually appear at the very top all the time, so it saves me searching through all these layers and getting confused and sort of wasting time doing that. So I'm going to call this one 1 oval. O-V-A-L. Does that look right? I have to do oval. And what we're going to do there is basically look at drawing the ovals. And now that's in place, the thing is you'll notice the green tick is not on the oval section. So if we start to draw something, for example, I'll draw it, where's the tool? I'll draw it over here. You'll notice that it will be layered via colour. Oops. Look at the properties. It's layer via colour via layer, and it's actually on layer 0 because that one is the one that is selected with this green arrow. It becomes the default layer in which the item is actually placed. What I'm going to do is double click there and add the selection to that so that I could actually start to draw on that layer. So again, to swap this particular item, which is our little rectangle there we did, to the new layer, I need to go to the properties of that object, and when you look at it down here it will ask us what layer it's on. Now if I click on this and go down, you can see number 1 oval is there. When I select that, it's put it onto the ovals layer. Okay, you'll notice that the element here hasn't changed. What you'll notice over here is when you look at it, the properties of it is telling me it's on oval, but when you look at the layer, the color is still set to white. To change that, you need to select it, go over to a color, and select, say, green, for example, and click OK, and you'll notice straight away that it turns to a greeny color. Okay, that means it's still color via layer, but it's on the oval layer, which is green. You need to make sure that when you do put something on a layer that you actually select the right color so you can see the changes straight away. What I'm going to do is add a couple more layers. I'm going to add what's this one, number 2. This one will be buildings. Okay, and hit enter so it applies. You will notice though that as soon as you, I suppose if you've got a layer selected and you go new layer, it will place it underneath, but it will also take on all the properties of the previous colour. So what we need to do is go into our colour here, change it to a khaki building ready dark colour. Okay, and you'll notice because we don't have any buildings in there, it's not going to show any changes, but I'll just add a couple more things. What will be the next one? We'll do paths and roads. So number 3, paths and roads. Okay, we'll change that to a, I don't know, I want to go pretty bright. We've got green, we've got reddy browny colour. Let's choose a, I don't know, we'll do this bluey greeny colour up here. Okay. Okay, so paths and roads, buildings. What else? What other elements are we going to put on there? I forgot to add the boundary, the property boundary, and the map. So what I'm also going to do is, again, last layer, number 4, property, change that to hot pink. What do you reckon? So it stands out in a crowd. Okay, I think that will do for our layers so far, but once we have added those layers, we're actually going to just select our boundary property. We're going to go into here, we're going to choose the new layer to go onto, and it's going to be properties, and straight away you should see that change, and escape, and you can see that it's in there. And also delete this because it's not needed anymore because it's a test. Delete. Just zoom it so that it's sort of centered properly, and it's pretty much ready for the next section, which is what we're going to be looking at, is applying some shapes and use some of the simple tools.